Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this video is going to be a fun conversation with my good friend DeadwoodJedi about what is going on in the raid community and just kind of touching base with him on a bunch of different topics. So I hope you enjoy. Let's get into it. Alrighty, well, now for this iteration of Chosen's Corner Sunday conversation type thing I like to do, let's go ahead and bring in an OG in the raid community, the clan boss specialist himself, Mr. DeadwoodJedi. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me, Chosen. Always a pleasure talking with you.
Yeah, you bet. So, a lot to kind of talk about going on in the raid community. Lots of things happening. We've kind of transitioned from the Reddit AMA being the hot topic and the dupe system being the hot topic, and then we've got a new week of things to kind of discuss here for this week's iteration of our little chat here. So I guess first let's just talk about the elephant in the room, the speed hack thing that's all of a sudden kind of become widespread knowledge. Do you want to get us started on that?
Yeah, sure, I guess. So
I'm giving you the tough job.
Great, thank you. Yeah, I mean, this is a hack that's been around for a while. This cheat engine thing, and I'm aware players use it. I don't use it myself, but it's something that is out there, and basically what it does is speeds up the game. It's a different thing from some of the other tools that are out there, like Riva Tuner or Hell Hades, in that it actually goes into the game and changes the data that is being transmitted to Plarium, right? So we're not just speeding up our frame rates on our computer, but we're actually going in and speeding up the actual clock in the game, right? We're speeding up the game engine itself. So everything goes 2 times the speed. And it's problematic, right? Because look, I mean, I know it's going to be like there's no kind of way around it. It's cheating, right? You're changing the actual values of the game itself. You're making everything go faster, and that's, obviously can be exploited in a variety of ways. And I think with the CVC tournament gaining such emphasis from Plarium, it's more of an issue now than it's ever been. But we've gone through this before. I've kind of paid attention to it from the outside. It's not really something that I've been keen on. But it is, this is part of what happens, I think, when you create an issue in the community and you ignore it for too long. The community comes up with a solution that maybe isn't a great solution. The big issue, of course, is that this game takes too long. All the things we do, they're just too slow. And we don't have any easy ways to speed it up. So when you're at the stage of the game like you and me, where we've done all the content, I don't mind farming every day. I don't mind doing my clan boss every day. I enjoy the people I play with, and I enjoy playing the game still. But I don't need to spend 6 hours a day doing it, So, and this is a way for people to, speed through and do, a lot of the content much faster. So hopefully this gets Plarium to really focus on those quality of life issues so that we can move our game a lot faster. But also probably, I think would be good for them to implement a more permanent fix for this type of a thing. But yeah, it's a big thing here. This is not a small issue.
Yeah, I honestly didn't even know about this thing until the last few days when everybody's bringing it up in stream and stuff. And have you seen this this crazy tool out there? I didn't even know about it, but yeah, obviously, I did a collab with Cold Brew a while ago, talking about hey, it's starting to take kind of long to play this game. Like, back in the day when we first started, you just log in, you hit the clan boss, and you run some dungeons. But then they kind of slowly added Faction Wars and added Doom Tower and Tag Team Arena, and it just kind of keeps stacking, and before you know it, you're spending 5 hours a day playing raid just to get your dailies done.
That's the thing. It's not like we're trying to take to that next level doing that. That's just your daily stuff. And so until they start putting some auto battles or some 10 times speed or something, to speed it up, I have a hard time getting upset at people that are using this. I don't encourage it. I don't think it's I know it's not good for the game, but I understand why people do. Because if you want to play, I don't think you want to play for 5 hours every day, like you said. So it's a bit of an issue, a tightrope the game is walking here with this.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what comes of that. But also I want to get your thoughts on the Sishia 10X. But when I get this video uploaded, I think it will be right in the middle of the Sishia 10X. I'll try to get this out as soon as I can. But yeah, do you think you're gonna be pulling shards? You gonna be going after Sishia or anything?
No, probably not. I'm not. I mean, nah. Sisha is amazing, right? Like, she's the one champion that can make your Dragon 25 run go in like 15 seconds or something stupid. So she's great.
You mean Spider? You mean Spider?
Spider, that's what I meant.
Oh, you said Dragon.
Spider.
I was like, what's this 15-second Dragon strat I haven't seen? Like,
I need to know that. No, but I mean, yeah, for Spider, like, she can make that happen really fast. I just don't care enough, I guess. I don't feel like I mean, I don't know. Like, if I can do a Spider run in a minute and a half, it's pretty great. And I don't know that I need this champion to do that. So for me personally, I'm not. I usually just do Spider runs for the silver anyway. Like, I don't really. I have a full storage of amulets and banners and stuff. I'm like done with it. But she's a great champion. I mean, but she's kind of situational too, right? Like, you're not going to bring her into arena. I don't think you're going to bring her into Doom Tower. So if you're not using her in these dungeon runs, I don't know where you use her specifically. It's not, and that's not to say she's a bad champion or anything like that. I'm sure she has her uses outside of that, but it seems like this is, her primary thing is dungeon runs. Kind of like a legendary seer. Like, where else are you going to use her? Or like a Zavia, it might be a better example of somebody like that. So, I mean, I think if you have the shards to pull, do it. If you're at that pity, go for it. But, like, I don't know that she's worth wailing out for on a 10 times event,
Yeah. I ended up having kind of bad luck during the 2X Ancients, and I pulled like 150 and didn't get a legendary. So I might just crack a few Ancients during the 10X and see if I hit her. Just because it went bad. Like, if I wasn't close to Mercy, I'd probably just skip it. But because of my circumstance, I'm kind of weighing. I'm 50-50 right now. If I'm gonna just pull some and maybe try to get her.
I feel like she's like, if you get her, you got to be super happy about it, right? But I also don't feel like she changes your account. And to me, like, I think in your situation, obviously, that makes a lot of sense, right? You're close to the pity. You've already pulled a bunch. Like, yeah, maybe, it wouldn't be a bad one to get. But I think generally when you're pulling in the 10 times event, it's for an account-changing champion, right? You want, like, a Duchess, a Krisk, somebody like that. I don't know that Sissia really falls into that category. But, I mean, like, hey, if you ain't got no HP burn, there's not really anybody better than Sissia right now, so... that's definitely a viable way to go. So, yeah.
Speaking
and
of,
she looks cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, aesthetically, yeah, top 10 for sure, absolutely.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I might as well pull it up while
I was just looking at her on my side. I'm like, dude, the flame wings, the flame sword, like, she's dope.
I'm being a rookie. I need to pull stuff up while we're talking about it. I'm being a rookie.
Come on, man.
I'm so enthralled by what you have to say that I'm mesmerized.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm dropping the ball here. Well, speaking of me and my Mercy system, did you ever use these? Do you ever use these like tools that are out, like the RSL helper or OMG click? Do you ever use these like other things that they kind of like crack down on when it comes to the Mercy system? Were you using that stuff?
No, Chosen. I only use one tool, and that's the Clan Boss Calculator. There's no need to use any other tools in this game. Yes.
Where do you find the Clan Boss Calculator?
You're going to find that on DeadwoodJedi's website, DeadwoodJedi.com. Yeah, it's a great place to go, for information about the game. And
never heard of it. I'll have to write that down and check that out here.
Yeah, I definitely worth writing that down. Seriously, though, no, actually, I do use a lot of the tools, right? So I have an auto clicker on my computer. I have OMG click, which is another auto clicker. So I've got multiple options there. I did download the RSL helper when it came out, just to kind of see what it was about. It was pretty good. Like, as far as like seeing what the Mercy was, like, it was kind of go, oh, that's that was easy, and that was nice to know. Did concern me a little bit. I had a feeling that I was kind of exposing my account a little bit to a third party, so I probably wasn't going to continue to use it. But it was a great tool for people that need to see where they're at, and that's simple information that we should be having already. So it's a little bit, it's unfortunate that we can't use that anymore. But yeah, these third party tools really help make the game shine, and they fill in a lot of the void that isn't being serviced by the company already, right? Like, I love Hell Hades tool. I think the gear optimizer is great, and that came out before we had the what do they call it? The changing room. Is that what it's called in the game?
Fitting room, I think.
The fitting room, right? So that came out before the fitting room because there was a void in this game, and we were filling it as a community. And like that's where the calculator's at. That's where these auto clickers are at. If they gave us the ability to do more and more runs on auto, complete parts of this game without having to go back into it, these third-party tools wouldn't need to exist. But as they are, it's a great community thing, right? Like, this is one of those things that binds our community together, is our disdain for the lack of community tools within the game. I give a lot of credit to a lot of these these people that have created these tools, like OMG Click, Farbsoft. There's lots of them out there, and I think they're brilliant. And most of the time they're not messing with anything that's going to affect the game. It's a lot different from like this cheat engine that's actually changing the game itself. Most of these other tools are just pulling information from the server side. I'm sorry, from the client side of the game. So it's just pulling information that's already on your phone, as opposed to changing the information that's in there.
Yep. And I come from the Diablo community, and we always refer to that as something that reads memory but doesn't write anything. So It's not like injecting stuff into the game to like duplicate items or something, or but. My favorite part of the tool here, and I've got it pulled up on screen, but you can't see, but is the ability to be able to look at your champions during a run. I'm only familiar with the RSL helper one from Farbsoft, but I like it outlines them in red, like if they're missing gear. So like when I go into like a Faction Wars run, they'll be like in red if I used the helm off of them and didn't remember or something. Like, that's like, because I used to always have to be like, gosh, what happened? My Faction Wars run seems slow. Is somebody naked? Like, I gotta go back. So I like just being able to like track that like instantly, but that's probably my favorite.
Can I tell you my sad story with that? I'm so glad you pointed this out, because I'm gonna have to use that tool, I think, going forward, because I just did, was it yesterday? Yesterday I did my spider run. So I do my 100 runs on auto every day just because it's easy to do. Knock those out. I come back later. I'm like, oh, all right. Literally sold everything. All right. I wasn't saving anything. I'm like, oh, I got like 5 million silver. Seems a little on the low side. And then immediately you start getting those pop-ups of like, oh, this guy's not equipped. This guy's not equipped. This guy's not equipped.
Here's a tip.
Oh,
equip this champion.
All right. That's right. Because I change my champions all the time for different clan boss builds. That really messed me up. So I like that kind of addition to the game. Let me know ahead of time.
Yep. And like during your run, you can click on champions and it pulls up their whole build, their masteries, their gear. You can see the glyphs. Like, you could basically browse your champion index while you're playing. So,
that's great.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely incredible. Shout out to Farbsoft, and there's probably other tools as well that are amazing. This is just the one that I've kind of grown familiar with, kind of first here.
That's the thing. There's so many there are a few of them out there, and they're all really good quality. They do a lot of stuff for this game. The community is amazing. Like, just creating this stuff. I think it's just really, really incredible. And so, that's great. I'm really glad, that is one of the good things, is that, I guess it's one of the good things about the lack of interest that, Raid has put to stuff, is they've allowed that part of the community to grow. And I think in some cases encouraged it, given like a silent blessing to a lot of these things. And I think at this point, they're starting to walk that fine line of like, okay, what can we allow and what do we need to, block in order to keep things safe, because I think that's legitimate. But also to enable to enhance the player experience, which is now obviously what we're concerned about primarily. But I'm glad that they've allowed so much of it to work, because it's been really good for the community. It's been really good for people.
Yeah, it reminds me of like the modding community on Steam. Like a new game comes out and people are
Yeah.
releasing mods, and
Yeah. That's always my favorite. Honestly, a lot of times when I'll play a game once and I'll be like, all right, let's see what the mods are there.
Yeah.
It's the only reason it stays on the computer.
What are the modders up to?
Yeah. I get Civilization every year, right?
Oh yeah, that's
every new one of those. I almost immediately just start looking at the mods before I even start playing the regular game. I was like, well, what kind of mods we got here? We gonna slow this time down? We got some new factions we can do here. What are we gonna do?
Yeah. No, Civ is an epic game for modding. To see what kind of like civs people come up with, and from history, and adding civilizations and all sorts of different resources. I love the modding community for Civ is awesome. But I also want to get your opinion before I forget here. I didn't mean to change the topic, but I also want to get your opinion, because you're such an expert on the clan boss, that we've got one of the biggest updates in raid history, in my opinion, coming soon.
Yep.
AI changes. So I wanted to get straight from the source. What do you think? Is this going to like revolutionize unkillable comps or damage potential? Like, what's your opinion on kind of this AI update being able to change prioritizations, being able to lock out those skills that you don't want people to do? What do you see changing in the clan boss landscape because of the AI update?
Okay, cool. I'm glad you asked this question, because it's like I've been thinking about like which champions are going to be better or not, but I hadn't really looked at the full, like, how does this affect the meta, right?
Mm-hmm.
How does this affect the way the community builds teams? Obviously there's going to be some individual champions that are just going to be, way better than they were before. There's going to be champions that were unusable that are usable now. I think the two biggest ones that I think are going to be on everybody's mind is obviously Sir Nicholas and Rugnor. Two champions that do very different things, but can be played well together, but weren't really great in Clan Boss before. Sir Nicholas has a weird AI quirk that we won't have to deal with anymore, and Rugnor did too. So I'm excited to see those two. But I think on the broader viewpoint of like, how is this going to affect the game? I don't think it's going to change the top end of the game very much. I think we've already established that the best damage dealing teams are not unkillable teams. So because of that, I don't see a lot of this having much effect. I think you might start seeing some crazy teams involving Tyrant again, because Tyrant's AI was a little bit wonky, and I think this helps to clean that up a little bit. I think where this is going to have a major impact is actually for the early, or I guess you'd call it mid to late game clan boss teams, right? So the people struggling at Nightmare and Brutal and struggling to move into Ultra Nightmare, becomes a lot easier to tune your teams now, because you no longer, assuming everything goes the way we understand it to, you won't have to deal with weird AI quirks, right? So, like, for example, one of the things I'm most excited about is champions like Jareg, Tayrell, Rearguard Sergeant. I think those are three champions that are going to have some of the biggest impacts to this change. And the reason why is, if Rearguard Sergeant, for example, has ally protection on herself, she won't cast ally protection. Mm-hmm. Which means that, one of the strongest things about ally protection is being able to have it on, on everybody. So you have to have two champions that can cast it. Well, if she's not going to do it because somebody else cast it already, that definitely limits the potential. Jareg, Tyrant, they won't cast it if both ally protection and increased defense is on themselves. And that, again, is another one of those, well, what's the point then? Champions. So there are definitely, I think that's going to help a lot with the synergy of your teams. Just not having to worry about those AI overlaps, I think is going to be huge, right? Because there's so many times where like a champion won't cast Draco, for example, right? Famously wouldn't cast the decreased defense and weaken debuff if only weaken or only decreased defense was up. Well, now Draco's can cast it every single time, right? that comes with pros and cons though, because now she's not doing damage when normally would be when normally wouldn't be using that skill either. So there's some changes there, but I'm really excited. I think for the middle to low end clan boss teams, I think are going to have the biggest impact. Those traditional teams going to be a lot easier to tune, a lot easier to make tanky, and that's going to be really good for the game, I think.
Cool. And then really quickly, you touched on, and for somebody who's a newer player doesn't understand, you said it's not going to impact the best teams in the world. Could you just do a quick synopsis as to how the best teams in the world work?
Absolutely. So all the best teams right now, and when we're talking, and like literally we're talking pushing 200 plus million damage. I mean, the current record is over 250 million at the moment, which is just insane. But so we're going to be, talking about that. We're talking about teams that are doing, 150 plus million, 200 million. Those teams are all going at a 2-1 ratio, so everybody's taking 2 attacks for everyone the clan boss is taking, first off. Secondly, they're all involving champions like Valkyrie. That basically you need Valkyrie and Krisk to be able to survive at that levels. And I say that, obviously you can probably do it with other champions. It's not like those are the only 2 that can really put up that kind of damage, but they are right now the cream of the crop as far as doing that, because they offer a couple of different unique abilities. Krisk extends buffs and provides ally protection and will speed your team up. So that gives you a lot of flexibility as to how to get to a 2-1 ratio, as well as how to stay alive longer. And Valkyrie, of course, has that massive shield. And then, you can throw in champions like Brogni or Lydia, where you start adding, strength and buffs. You start adding, making the shields of Valkyrie even stronger. There's a variety of ways to do this. The previous world record was a double Krisk team, right? So you had Valkyrie, 2 Krisk, Iron Brago, and I believe it was Turvold or Rosin in there. The current one has Lydia, Krisk, Valkyrie, Iron Brago, and Underpriest Brogni in the team. So there are a variety of, there's a couple different ways to build this, but having those champions like Valkyrie and Krisk is kind of the meta. So the champions that this frees up probably won't break into that. I don't think there's anybody that these AI changes are going to make it so that you're like, oh, this is a champion that I want to bring in the clan boss all of a sudden to get to that next level 300 million kind of damage. But even with that, these changes are going to have a huge impact on the majority of the player base, because you're going to have more champions that are available for unkillable teams. I'm telling you right now, Ragnar is going to be the quintessential slow boy for budget unkillable teams. Like, there's nobody that's going to be better. He hits hard. He's got perfect base stats, and he's going to be able to give you decreased defense and weaken. Like, that's ideal for that kind of position. There's a bunch of different champions that maybe put up skills that you don't need that you're going to be able to use. Another champion that's going to be great for the budget unkillable, maybe even better than Ragnar, is going to be what's her name? Rowan.
Oh,
because she has a 4-hit that now 100% puts on a poison with each hit. And with the, because of the way the budget unkillable works, that's going to go up every single turn. She becomes amazing and a void champion and great base stats. Like, that's going to be outstanding for her. So there's a lot of I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of impact from this for the lower level and mid-level accounts. For the upper level, if you're already, it's not going to affect your bad eater teams. It's not going to affect your, your 1 key damage teams. It's definitely not going to affect the world record team. But everything else is going to have a pretty big impact, I would say.
Cool. I mean, that's probably a good thing then, Because like, who cares about if it goes from 250 to 300 million? You want to help out the more progression type accounts. So I think it's looking good for the AI change. It's probably the most excited I've been for a change in raid, honestly, that we can finally build teams that function how we want them to.
Yeah. I mean, so much of what goes into this game is theory crafting. You come up with the idea, you go, okay, how do I make this work? What do I need to do? You gear it up, and then you put it in the game, and there's nothing more frustrating than the AI just not doing what they're supposed to do. I'm like, I put in all this work, where is show me the results of my work? And when that doesn't happen, it's super duper frustrating. And you go, hey, I just jumped 20 million silver, I jumped all these gems, and I'm not getting anything out of it. And like now we don't have to worry about that as much, right? You can really theory craft how you want it to go, and it will go that way. It takes away a little bit more the special fine tuning that like I used to always think about of like, oh yeah, I can't use Steel Skull here because that increased defense won't go up because we've got it coming over here from Alton already. So some of that goes away, but like I'm very happy to give that up. That's more pain in the butt stuff than it is, beneficial for anybody. So this is gonna be a really big change for people, I think, for most teams.
I think it's easier. Like I always thought, like from Plarium's side, it's a win-win because like instead of Plarium trying to balance the AI properly of 500 champions, just say screw it, you guys do it. Like
100%.
Like so, it's a win-win. It's a win. Plarium doesn't have to release all these patches. Like now, in certain situations, Madame Ceres will prioritize her finally. Like, and then Coldheart will not use Heartseeker into the Fire Knight Shield. Like, there's all these million exceptions. Just throw your hands up and say, player base, you do it.
Yep. No, you're 100% right. 100% right. I'm interested to see how it gets implemented, though. Right? Like, we have this idea of what we want. But the details of it, that's where the devil's going to lie. And so I'm really interested to see that. Like, I know they said you can save up to 10 inputs for PvP or PvE, I think for each.
Yeah, I thought so. Something like that.
So I'm like, is that 10 teams, 10 individual champions?
10 teams, I think.
I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, we kind of got like a little teaser here 2 days ago or whatever. And now we're waiting to see kind of exactly how it, but it's definitely a big thing that's needed. We're kind of hitting that 2-year point where things are, like it's tough because they've done a decent job releasing new content, but it's such a double-edged sword. Like you want new content, but you don't want to spend 8 hours a day having to manage your account. So it's like, we got to find a way to like you said, people are finding the workaround to speed things up, or if we get like autocomplete tickets. But then I don't think Plarium's ever going to want that because they want champions that speed farm to be valuable. So like like they want you to get a benefit for having a 1-minute dragon team as opposed to a 7-minute dragon team. And if you set out auto tickets, now all of a sudden, so it's a really tough line to walk.
But there's other areas of the game where that can work, right? We don't need it for Faction Wars. We don't need it for Doom Tower, for example, right?
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff I think we can auto because nobody's speed teaming any Doom Tower teams, right? Like that's not really the thing. And there's still an encouragement to do that by having the leaderboard. That's really the progress there. But nobody speed farms those areas of the game. So those are some areas that we could probably speed it up a little bit. I mean, I'm with you. Obviously, Tag Team Arena should just throw that in the trash. Probably the best way to deal with that one. But yeah, I mean, you're right. Like they want us to make faster teams. So this is kind of the trade off. It's unfortunate, but
Faction Wars is the big one. Like once you 3-star a stage, like just let us complete it. Like
can I just like legit, man? That's every day. I mean, those aren't like super painful to do, but when you're doing it every day. I mean, I don't know about you. For me, it's the Doom Tower runs. I want to do those. I want those mats,
the boss
to farm
mats
stuff.
Where it's like 8 minutes a run on some of them, and
like I mean, I'm not like legitimately, dude, trying to beat the Scarab in like anything less than 5. I mean, 5 minutes I think is being kind about the speed time on that, but it's ridiculous how long that takes, and I'm just like I have to do this like 10 times, 15 times a day, and I'm supposed to okay. And then what's funny, every time I think about these things I'm always like I think about it for like me, my account, and then I stop and I go, okay, how about where was I at a year ago? Where was I at a year and a half ago? And I shudder to think, like if I am a newer player or like a lower level account, I'm just like, how am I supposed to get through any of this stuff, where like, oh, am I supposed to struggle on Faction Wars today? Or am I supposed to struggle on Doom Tower today? All these things take me forever. Each of these Doom Tower floors takes me forever. Like, just advancing. Like, there's some days where I'm just like, I'm just not doing Doom Tower. I can't. Like, I'm so glad we had that 10-day window of like not having to do anything, because I'm like, yeah, I don't have my 50 minutes today to do a Doom Tower climb. We're just gonna let that one go there.
Yeah, that's what I was talking with Ash about that in our collab, and he was like, "Yeah, Doom Tower just ends up falling by the wayside a lot of the time. I'm not gonna spend an hour and a half spending my silver keys here. Got better things to do with my life." But
no, like, that's legit, man. I can't do it all the time. It's rough. It's rough. You got to pick and choose, I guess. It's so bad.
Yeah,
it's so bad. Just make it faster. But like, if they sped up the tavern, they sped up the forge, that would be huge, right? Like, right there, that would be a huge time thing. And let's go ahead and just speed up the gear rolling. Maybe we could just do that, because it doesn't make any sense why we have to wait that long, why it goes that slow.
Okay, like, this is so easy. Like, just have a slider, like, where you can adjust the speed. Like, if you like it how it is now, fine. Have a slider where you can max it out and it goes super fast, or have a slider.
Who likes it where it is now? Who likes that?
Okay, like, you have to always give that caveat, because you always get that person in the comments that's like,
that's fair.
I like to see my silver manage it. So you never know. But yeah, like, I'm sure 99% of people just want it to go faster. Like, just tell me the damn damages and let me move on with my life.
Just like that's an instant complete spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They get zero benefit from letting that go longer, right? That time is not time that we're doing anything positive with. Tell me how much it costs, let me pay it, and let me complete it, and like, we're done. I mean, that to me seems like the simplest. That's like such a big time saver. Like, it doesn't, like, look, I'm using Riva Tuner, right? Like, I speed up my rolling all the time. It's not an issue for me anymore because, again, third-party applications. But for anybody that plays only on mobile, that has to be the worst part. Like, I would have quit a year ago if that was the case. Like that's not even a joke. It just consider how much gear I've rolled and how long that would take. There's no way I'd be able to continue playing.
Yeah, when you've upgraded like 1,000 pieces and each one takes 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, I must have like 1,500, 1,600 pieces of gear rolled up on my account. If I'm on mobile, I'm not doing that. Like, that's not happening. Like, I guess I'm just stuck for a little while. But like, there's no way. If they didn't have a PC client, there's no way I would be able to continue to play this game as much as I have. They need to fix a lot of that stuff. It's not a lot. And they run that fine line. Is this a PC game or is this a mobile game? And a lot of this stuff is running that fine line right now because we don't have those quality of life changes.
Yeah, I remember doing account takeovers before we found out how to upgrade faster. And it was always hard on stream because, like, okay, I've got to upgrade like 10 pieces and build this champion for you. And like half my viewers would leave because it's like, who wants to watch artifacts roll for 42 minutes? Like, I'm out of here. I'm going to go watch something else. Like,
legit.
And I don't blame them. I mean, like, you're sitting here rolling artifacts for 42 minutes. Like,
that was me. And when I first started, that's all I did was like account work. And, literally I'm like, okay, this is the gear rolling segment we're going to be in on right now, guys. I use it as an opportunity to chat with people, but like, honestly, it was frustrating. Nothing like standing there for 10 minutes watching something roll and realizing that it's trash. And you're like, cool, great. The valuable usage of my time right there. So happy. It's frustrating, man. Yeah, there's a lot of quality of life stuff that this game needs right now. Because it's still, I think, a great game. But we have a fair amount of stuff to do. And I think for the majority of players, like, too much stuff to do. The issue is that it just takes too long to do it. And so we need some of those quality of life changes. We need to throw away 3v3 and come up with something better. And then I can't stand that part of the game.
Yeah,
but
I'm with you.
yeah, Yeah, but you know, I mean, Arena's interesting. The metas are constantly changing. This is going to have a huge impact on the metas in Arena. I think that's going to be real interesting. So, like, that's been more interesting to me lately than anything else. And I know they just made some more changes to try and balance it out. Yeah, I think the game's been going in a very good direction, even with all the issues they've had. Compared to like where it was a year ago, I am infinitely more pleased with where it is now.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
and that's it. That's the word. I'm saying it, standing by it.
I was going to use that as the Deadwood mic drop, and transition to, let us know, because are you streaming today?
I'm not streaming today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I generally keep the weekends for myself.
That's smart.
Just helps. Yeah. I mean, I'm my own boss. I can do that now. So why not?
I struggle with that. Like taking days off. It's hard to like unplug completely from everything. But
I didn't say I'm taking the day off. I just said I'm not. You know this game. It's a 7-day-a-week job that we do out here. You
silly goose. You thought I was gonna take the day off? No. Oh,
you funny. I'm actually going to be on Saffron's. We're going to be doing a No More Jockeys episode today. So,
cool.
That should be fun.
I think you did one before, haven't you?
I've done like 3 of them.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I did one with.
I keep winning.
I did one. Oh, they keep having you back because I was awful on that show.
Oh, really?
I was terrible. I played with Mad Capper, and I think I got last place out of Capper and Saff.
Feel like Mad Capper would be really good at that game.
Mad Capper knows a lot of like random stuff. Yeah.
That game's hard, man, but I don't know. I'm playing with Saffron, playing with Cold Brew. Cold Brew's pretty good at it.
Yeah. He was in the championship on my trivia contest, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Were you in that, or was that before we were like?
That was before my time.
Yeah, okay. That was before we were kind of doing collabs and talking a lot. Yeah.
I think that was before I was even doing content creation.
Okay.
So
yeah, because the championship ended up working out. I didn't plan it this way, but it ended up like Europe versus USA, like Murder Inc. versus Cold Brew, and I didn't plan it that way. It just the bracket worked out to where it was Cold Brew versus Murder Inc. And
that's pretty good.
That's a good time.
That's pretty good. Well, I saw your competition with J Gigs and Hell Hades and. Mm-hmm. And them that was pretty interesting watching that, and I was like, oh, okay, this is harder than I thought.
I haven't watched it, but yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it seemed cool. Well, I mean, I kept going like, I was like, oh, this is easy, and then I'm like watching through, I'm like, oh man, I don't even know the answer to that. That's what mountain is where? I don't know.
Oh yeah, some of those. My proudest moment was when I was the only one to get this right. They asked, what's the Lizardmen champion, or which Lizardmen epic has the highest base defense? And I was like, boom, Jizo. And I was the only one that got it right. That was my shining moment. I think like someone said Broadmow and someone said something else, but I just, for whatever reason, I remembered that, like, okay, Jizo is like the epic champion, and I know he scales with defense, so yeah, I'm gonna go with Jizo, and nailed it. But
it's a good one. It's a good one, man. I mean,
fun.
The Lizard faction is the worst, so that's good.
Yeah, I remember that.
I said that. I don't believe that anymore. Now I have Draco. I'm okay now, but I used to feel that way.
Yeah, but that secret room where it was like Lizardmen epics only, that was brutal.
Oh my god. Some of those rooms, I'm just like, what
have I done? I don't want to get Deadwood on the Doom Tower again. Sorry guys. I don't want to.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. The first iteration was fine, right? It was challenging, but doable. We're fine. This one we got going on is just good. By the way, I got my Justice for Death Knight shirt.
I saw that
going on today.
I saw
pretty
that.
Good about that.
Yeah, I'd never gotten my my Plarium swag.
You didn't get any?
I've never gotten anything. A hat, a shirt.
Bro,
I don't know if I gave them the wrong address or if I got lost in the cracks.
Hit them up, man. I'm sure they'll send you something. It's the quality of this shirt is like surprisingly good. I was like, this is not like some cheap, $5, silk screen type of thing. It's nice.
They do it right over there in the Ukraine, huh?
They did it right. I'm like legit. I'm impressed. They did well.
I'll have to ask him where my shirt is. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, you definitely contact Banana or Cirilla or somebody.
All right, brother. You got anything else you want to cover before we wrap it up? Did we miss any hot topic?
No, I think we good. You know, no, I think that's pretty much it. I've been trying to do a game on contest, so having people submit their own dungeon runs, and I'm gonna give away some gems at the end of this month. So that's kind of fun. I don't know, like as far as the timing of this video, if people are gonna be able to compete with that, but if you can do so, I have information in some of my latest videos on like how to compete on that stuff, so you can check me out there. But yeah, I mean, everybody just keep smacking that clan boss, smacking it hard,
And what was that? What was that like? That random website you talked about earlier?
Oh yeah. I mean, for those of you that like want information on or like how to speed tune your like clan boss team or your arena team, pretty lackluster website, DeadwoodJedi.com. So DeadwoodJedi.com. Just that's all you cite that in, you'll be fine, you'll find it, I'm sure. Yeah, there's some information there. There's a couple links to some external sites too, like if you go under guides and resources, you have questions about things, it gives you some aid of how to do that. There's things like there's other calculators in there, like there's one about what's it, like a deal calculator or something like that.
There
I think I have linked in there.
Yeah.
I don't know who made that though, so but yeah, there's definitely a few things on there.
Probably one of those idiot finance guys that come from banking.
Worst.
Banker hours. Those guys are the worst.
Man, just throw some nickels in the corner and watch them run. That's what I say.
All right, well, I've had enough of this this personal attacking going on here, so. But yeah, I'll link to Deadwood stuff down below. Definitely check it out. Good stuff. Keep up the good work, and I'm excited to see what you can come up with after these AI changes.
Oh, it's gonna be exciting. We're gonna have some fun.
All right.
Thanks for having me on.
You bet. Thanks. Have a good one.
All right, you too.
Alrighty, so huge shout out to Deadwood for taking the time to join me and have this conversation with me. I will link to his stuff down below in the video description and also a pinned comment so you can check out his website and his channel and all the stuff that he is doing. I definitely recommend it. He puts out a lot of great stuff for the raid community, not only about the clan boss, but about the game in general. So that'll do it for this one. Thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.